to share a little bit with you today about how to make tax prep easy. You know, it's something that I dread. I don't know how you feel, but I do. Every year I dread doing my taxes, but I know it's something that I have to do. So I get it done at some point. And I'm going to tell you, this is the latest that I have ever went to my tax prep guy, you know, my tax preparer. He is a CPA. But this is the latest. And, you know, it was a little bit of procrastination. And also, it was just, you know, just adjusting to the fact that we're not in our home. We had to go back home and get our papers. And we moved a couple of times. So getting reacquainted, situated all over again. It seemed like the plan was to get it done in March. And I kept saying every week, I'm going to get it done. I'm going to get it done. I'm going to get it done. And next thing I know, it was April. And I was like, oh my God, we got to get this thing done. The deadline is Tuesday. So what we did was on Friday, we called and made an appointment for Monday. So tomorrow we're going to go and actually get it done. But I knew that I had to make the appointment so that I could be accountable. I have to be ready since I have an appointment, right? So that's what I did. So what I want to do, if you're anything like me and you dread doing your taxes and getting, you know, doing the tax prep, I'm going to show you some things to make it a lot easier, because most of the time, the reason why we don't get it done is because we're all in our head. And we tend to make things much harder than what they actually are, right? So, and I'm the queen of that. Even when it comes to learning choreography, I find myself making it harder than what it actually is. But when someone actually takes the time and break it down, I'm like, oh, that was it? But I already put in my head that it was super hard. So when you say that something is super hard, you're going to procrastinate, you're going to struggle doing it, or you're just going to avoid it altogether. Okay? So let me just make sure that I am actually live here. That's what I want to make sure. Oh, yeah. All right. So I am live. Okay, cool. Cool. So what I want to do is I want to share with you 3 hacks that I actually do to make life easier. And I'm going to be honest, I can even streamline those hacks, but it does make the process easier. So before I get into those hacks, the first thing you want to realize is that you know you have to do your taxes, right? You know you have to save your receipts, because you have to prove what it is that you spent. So you want to save your receipts, and then you also want to show proof of your income and make sure you have all that paperwork when you go to see your tax preparer. But your preparation starts the first day of the new year. So for this year, January the 1st, 2025 is your first day where you actually want to start organizing yourself. It all starts with organization. So what I do is I buy envelopes, and what I do is I label them. I label them according to the deductions, the stuff that we can report. That's, as business owners, there's certain things that we can report. Let's do it like that, not deductions. So for instance, it could be your car, right? You're traveling, you can record that mileage. You can also share your receipts for whatever it is that you do with your car. But let me just give you this disclaimer. I am not a tax expert, not at all. That's why I go and get my taxes done. But I do a little bit of research to get an idea of what it is that you can write off. So you want to put those things in categories. So like, for instance, like I said, your car. So the gas, your mileage, you can write that stuff off, right? If you're paying a note, you can write that stuff off, but ask questions about that. Maybe it's probably better when you lease, but then also it should be in your company name. So, don't quote me on all of that stuff, but just know that you can write off aspects of your car depending on how you have things set up, right? So your car, what else? Your receipts when you go out to network and you're networking at a restaurant. So that receipt that you can claim. So you want to make a category for that. Your tools, because we all need tools to work our business. So all those tools that you buy, those monthlies to help you run your business, that's a write-off. So you want to get a box of envelopes, and you want to label them according to what it is that you can write off. And if you're not sure what to write off, you can go over to Online Success Made Simple. We actually had a tax preparer come on and share what it is that we as network marketers, affiliate marketers can write off. So you can go and look for that training in Online Success Made Simple in our group. Okay, her name is Katrina, and she will she guide us. She had guided us through that process. So you could definitely look at that. Also, you can ask your tax preparer, what is it that I can write off, so that you're very clear and make those envelopes. So as you are accumulating these receipts, right? So here's one here. I'll show you one here. So this one is from Aldi's. So now Aldi's not only sells food, right? Aldi's also has that seasonal aisle. So you may see something in that seasonal aisle that you can buy for your business. For instance, it could be a planner, right? They have planners, and this is like seasonal. They may have something for you to use for your computer or your computer desk, or different things like that. Different things that you can use for your business, you may find in that seasonal aisle. So you're going to take that receipt, and since my receipt mostly has food, but every now and then I'll find something in that aisle that's going to help me enhance my business. I will circle that item and put it in that envelope for business expenses or business tools, however you want to label it. And so as I get it, I put it in that envelope. So by the end of the year, I'm not scrambling looking for all my receipts, because month by month, each time that I make a purchase, I put it in the envelope that it belongs in. So then at the end, I gather up all my envelopes. I have everything. They're already in the right category. Okay? So that's what you do, and you want to start that from January 1. You want to have that in place. And if you don't have it January 1st, then within that first week in January, you want to have your labels or your envelopes already labeled, so that when you get your receipts, you can just pop it in the right envelope. So that's one thing that really makes things helpful, because if you ever audit it, hey, what's going on, Daria? What's going on? If you ever audit it, you already have your receipts already in order. You have everything ready to go. You don't have to go looking for everything, because you already characterized everything, right? You put everything in the right, compartment, if you will, or in the right envelope. So you want to label your envelopes. That is so important from day one. Number two, you want to use, what I do is I use a spreadsheet. And the spreadsheet that I use already has the formula. So when you plug your numbers in the right place, it already tallies it up for you. So at the end of the year, you'll know how much money you spent on, let's say, subscriptions. Because if you're in affiliate marketing, if you're in network marketing, you are doing some kind of subscription. And those things you can write off, because those are your tools. So let's say you use a tool for traffic, right? Or for ads. And that tool is $30 a month. So you can plug that into the spreadsheet, and then it's going to tally up the $30 for 12 months or however many months that you bought the tool, and then you have that total at the end. It makes life so much easier. So you want to be able to plug those numbers in for each category. And then if you own a home, because when you go to your tax preparer, he's going to do the personal side for you, which, how you earn your money, whether it's a pension, whether it's Social Security, whether you're an employee. So that side he's going to do. He has to do that personal side. Then he's going to fill out the necessary paperwork for your business side, which is a Schedule C. And on that Schedule C, you're going to see the categories that he uses for you to write off what you need to run your business. So that's why I say it's important that you talk to your tax preparer to find out what categories he's using, and then you line up your envelopes according to that. And it makes life so much easier when it comes to giving him the numbers, because at the end of the day, your tax preparer is not solely responsible for your taxes. You are. So you need to know what it is that he's writing off, what numbers he's putting down, because some people like to fabricate numbers to make so that you can get this big refund. But you know what? It's not worth it if you get audited. So you want to be able to justify every number that you give your tax preparer. That is so important. So if you know what it is that you can write off, then you'll be amazed what the numbers look like, because you don't even realize how much you're spending until at the end of the year when you're tallying up these numbers. You're saying to yourself, wow, I spent that much money on ads. I spent that much money on tools, right? We got all these AI tools out there, and they don't come cheap, right? The only AI tool that you can use that's really free, that's very effective, is ChatGPT. Even they have a subscription. So let's say you're doing that subscription, that's $20 a month. So you want to put that down, because that is a tool that helps you to build your business. Okay. And if you have autoresponders and things like that, all that stuff is part of what you need to help you build your business. Okay. So you want to have all that information in one place. So you can also tally it and put it on the spreadsheet. Now, I do have a specific spreadsheet that I use that makes life so much easier, because I just plug in the numbers. So I have a hard copy of everything that I know that I can write off with what I spent for that month, because each month has a column, and then it tallies it up for the whole year. I have that copy that I use, that spreadsheet, and that's what I bring to my tax preparer. So when he asks me, okay, well, how much did you spend on your phone? How much did you spend on this, on that, different things, I can just go down the line and give them that total, because number one, I didn't have to add it up. All I did was use a spreadsheet that has the formulas to add up everything for me, and all I'm doing is plugging in the numbers based on what it is that I spent. Now, if you want that spreadsheet, I can give you that for free. Just put spreadsheet in the comments, and I'll send that over to you. Okay, that'll be my gift to you. Okay, so the exact spreadsheet that I use, and you can put your categories. It has a section for your personal stuff. It has a section where you would put your income, so you get to see how much money you made. You know, because a lot of times you don't even realize, if you have multiple streams of income, you don't even realize how much income you're making, not to mention the income that you may be making from your job, or from your pension, or your Social Security, right? Or disability, or whatever it is that you have, right? So you're able to write all of that down, because they are going to need that information. So make sure that you bring all the tax papers that come in the mail, right? I forgot, there's a specific name for that. But just make sure you bring all those tax papers that show your income, that shows any withdrawals that you might have made from your 403b or your Roth IRA, because all of that stuff is considered income. So you want to make sure you have that. Now, what you can do is plug all of that into that spreadsheet. So before you even get there, you already know what your income looks like. Then once you put all the tools and everything that you use to help you run your business, you'll get to see what those deductions may look like. Okay, so the key is you want to make sure that you have the right categories so that you can save your receipts and put them in the right categories and keep them together every year. I do this every year. First, I was doing it in binders, but then that just got crazy and it was just too much, right? Because I was sticking them in the month of the binders, but then I had to go through each one and figure out what category it was in. So automatically, I put my receipt in the right envelope for the category of what it is that I am writing off, that I know that I can write off. So you can head over to Online Success Made Simple, the group, to find out what it is that you can write off and how to prepare. Right, we have a professional telling us about that, so make sure you go check that video out. You can also go to our YouTube channel. We have that there. And what I'll do is after this video is over, I will put I'll put the YouTube video there so you'll be able to see it. Okay. And then lastly, now this is like the ultimate, is the best. I use a tool, an app called Hurdler. Hurdler is a lifesaver because what you can do is you can hook up your car. So if you know that you use your car a lot for your business, that your car is a write-off. So the hardest thing about showing proof of the car is your mileage. So what the app does, it records every time you get in the car, and then you determine whether that trip is for business or personal, and you do that in the app. So when it's time for the end of the year for you to have a record of all your mileage, it's already in the app because you have already designated what was personal and what was business. And then of course, you are going to print out a report of your mileage for your business. Everything will be already lined up for you. You don't have to worry about it. That app is the bomb. So that's the best part. Then also you can add your accounts, your bank accounts to the app so the bank account, of course, that where your business expenses come out of, and it's good to have a business checking account because it'll all match up. And make sure that you're always doing your business outside of within your checking account, your business checking account. And sometimes what I do, if I don't have enough money in my business checking to make a purchase that I need for my business, I will transfer it from my personal so that the transaction is in my business account. And it just keeps you away from being audited. You know, it helps. It helps. If you're doing everything from your business checking, so then what you want to do is you want to hook up that business checking to your Hurdler account. And then what it's going to do, it's going to give you a notification every time a purchase is made and that it's recording that purchase. Then it will tell you, I want you to label what this is. Is this a business transaction or is this a personal transaction? So you get to choose what kind of transaction that is. So what I did was, since I have like 3 checking accounts that I make my purchases, I'll hook up all, because every now and then I do, slip up and go, oh snap, that was a business purchase. I should have did it in my business account. End up doing it in my personal. So then what I do is I'll just label that particular transaction as a business transaction. Now, if you are a homeowner and you have rental property, there's certain things that you can write off as well. So on the personal side, you get to write certain things off, when it comes to your home, the part that you're renting, of course, not the part that you're living in, right? I wish you could write that off. That would be so cool, right? And again, I'm not a professional tax preparer, so make sure that you speak to the person that is doing your taxes, because the laws change each and every year, and it is their job to brush up on the laws so that they can do your taxes accordingly, because that's what you're paying them for. You're paying them for their knowledge, right? And their goal should be to get as much money back as possible. But then make sure that you're doing some research of your own, because you are solely responsible for whatever is put on that paper and sent to the IRS. You are. His signature is there, but yours is there. And at the end of the day, they're going to reach out to you if they see a discrepancy or something, not your tax preparer. Now, I've been audited before. So what I did was, when I got audited, my tax preparer went down with me to sit in front of them for us to reconcile whatever it was that they felt was an issue. So he prepped me on what it is that I needed to say. I made sure I had all my paperwork, and then we went in there and we did what we did, and it was a great outcome. Now, but now what they're doing, because I got audited that way, and now what they want to do is they want you to send the receipts to prove, what it is that you wrote off. So you don't want to have your tax preparer write off anything that you don't have proof for, because you just never know when they may ask. So I'll always make sure I have all my receipts together in the right category. So when they say, okay, well, I want to see all the proof from whatever, they have all these different schedules. All I got to do is just go to the envelope, take pictures, and send it to them, right? But if you don't have things in order and in the right category, then you're going to be pulling your hair out trying to figure out which receipt goes with what. So if you do that from day one, which will be January 1st of every year, then you know that you have everything lined up. You keep everything together, because you're supposed to keep everything for at least 7 years. And then after that, you can discard them, but you keep everything together. If it's 2024, all your receipts, or the papers that you get from these institutions that report your income, all that paperwork, put it all together. Even your tax return, put everything together, because you never know when you have to go back and refer to something. And if everything is all over the place, you're going to go crazy. So organization is the key, y'all. I'm telling you, education is the key. Education is the key, but organization is the key. That's what I'm trying to say. So Hurdler. So also what I like about it, so you connect all your banks, and then what it does, as each transaction is coming in, you're going to get a notification. It's going to tell you, based on your past behavior, if they felt like something was likely a business transaction or likely a personal transaction. And then you will go into the app, or your app on your phone or your computer, and you will label it as such. It could be a business trip. It can be a networking meal. It can be gas. It can be tools, whatever it is, an autoresponder. You might have bought a new AI tool. So anything that helps you to build your business, that you can write that off. Okay. And I know a lot of us, including me, have left a ton of money on the table because just not knowing, right? And not asking the right questions. So make sure you're asking your tax preparer what it is that you can write off. Make sure you have a LLC or incorporate it as soon as possible, because that'll keep the government away from you, because they'll see that you have a legitimate business, you know. So you want to do that as soon as possible. You want to make sure that all your transactions are pretty much coming out of your business account. You cannot get a business checking account unless you have a LLC or you're incorporated. So, hey, what's going on, Val? So just make sure that you have all those things in place. It's so important. It's so important, you know. You just have to be organized. So now if you want the Hurdler app, you can try it for a few days and see how you like it. I've been using it I guess about the last 3 years now, and it has been a lifesaver. So so that's something that I write off, because it helps me organize myself for my business, right? It does have a monthly, but I just pay it for the year. It's only $99 for the year. And I don't mind paying to be organized, you know, because to have to do this thing manually would drive me crazy. Like sitting here with my phone and calculating each thing that I did for each category for the whole year. That's just too much. But to have a system in place already where I can feed it my checking accounts so that it can categorize my transactions, whether they're personal or business, and then what aspect of my business, right? Postage, things like that, business trips, things like that, you can write off. So the system will see it in your account and then ask you to label it. So just make sure that you do that, right? If you want to do it the manual way, at least get a spreadsheet. I have a spreadsheet that I use as well, just to double check myself. I have a spreadsheet that I use where I plug in the numbers as I go. The best way to do it is to do it per month. You can look at all your expenses, your business expenses for the month, and plug it into that spreadsheet. Once that month is over, you're not going to get no more receipts for that month, right? So get that month done. By the end of the month, just plug in all the numbers. Then you do the next month. That's the way to do it ideally. And that's where I'm working towards. I'm not doing that. But I know if I did that, come December, I would be good. I could just go walk in there the end of, January, February, and be like, all right, let's go. I got all my paperwork. But no, I don't do that. So I end up sitting down for 2 nights because I have the app, and I just make sure that everything is in the right category, because I do get new things that the system doesn't know, right? Because every now and then I'm buying new tools, right? So the system doesn't know what that is. So I have to put in the right category. So I do that. I print out the report. I keep my statements from my business account, because pretty much it's the same. I'm using the same tools. I know pretty much what what I'm spending monthly for my tools, and that I make sure that it's on the statement. And then that is something else that if you get audited, they want to look at. And then that most likely they'll let it go. They will approve it because it's coming from your business checking account. Also, I do transactions on PayPal. PayPal will allow you to print out a report of all your transactions for the year. I print that out. So if there's anything that I might have missed in my numbers, and for some reason it didn't hit Hurdler for whatever reason, I make sure I have that as well. So I have all the proof of all my transactions. I have the actual receipt that looks like this in envelopes. Hey, what's going on, Eugene? I have the receipts in envelopes, right, in their right category. I have my PayPal, and then I also have my business checking account. And then I just check through everything to make sure I covered everything. Make sure if it's not in Hurdler. Now, I don't know what is going on with my checking account changed to a new name, and for some reason Plaid will not let me connect it. So I had to do a little extra work this time, because it didn't after a certain, I forgot how many months, yeah, I forgot how many months it didn't record the whole year. It recorded most of it, but like the last 2 or 3 months or something like that, it didn't do. But because I had everything else, I was able to track and make sure that I had everything covered. So if you're doing this throughout the year, it will make it so much easier. And, you know, you won't find yourself procrastinating because the process is pretty much done at the end of the year, right? So I appreciate you guys coming through. I will send you guys the spreadsheet that I use. It's called, I have it up on my computer here. Let me see. I have it up. It is called a business template. That's what I call it. It's like, yeah, it's a business template. And like I said, you can record all your income, whether it's interest, rental, gifts, pension, Social Security, whatever. And then you have an area where you can put all your expenses related to your business. And then there's an area where it gives you all your total expenses and then net before taxes, income taxes. So you have all the numbers. You have all the numbers ready to go. So when your tax preparer say, okay, well, how much did you pay in electric? How much did you pay on your phone bill? Then he'll do whatever he needs to do, because you can use a percentage of your phone bill, your cell phone bill, because you're doing business on your phone, right? You posting, right? You making content, you calling people, you're texting. You can use that, right? So he knows what the portion is that you can use of your cell phone bill for your taxes. So I know for me, I was cheating myself because I wasn't aware of everything that I was able to write off. So just make sure that you are in the know. So when you sit before him, you can give him the right numbers to plug into his system so that he can best service you with what you give him. Because if you don't give him the numbers, then there's nothing he could do, right? So you want to make sure that your numbers are right. You want to make sure they're accurate, and you want to give him as much as possible so that you can get back as much as possible. Because you know this government, they'll take your money and be really slow to give it back, right? So the goal is, and he told me this, you know, the goal is not really for you to get a refund. The goal is for you to be set up where you break even. They don't owe you and you don't owe them. And then that way you have your money throughout the year instead of them holding your money, investing your money, doing everything that they want to do with your money. And then you got to fight and jump over hoops to get your money back. So that's the ultimate goal, is to get yourself set up where you are breaking even. You don't want to owe them and you don't want them owing you, pretty much. I know we're used to this time of year, getting money back and everything. But, you know, at the end of the day, they are taking our money and doing whatever they want to do with it. So why not have your money in your pocket? That's the goal. So I hope that this was helpful. Thank you for watching. I'm going to drop the template. You don't even have to ask for it. I'll just drop it. Just let me know that you got it on this link here. So I'll drop the template, and I'll also drop the link for the hurdler, because that is really a lifesaver so that you can be prepared. So by the end of the year, like, all right, so we're already in April. So we're 4 months in. Hopefully, after watching this video, you can start getting yourself set up so that you're organized, so that when December comes, hey, what's going on, Sophia? When December comes, you're already set. You're already ready to go because you have your receipts in the right envelope, okay? And you'll be good to go. You'll be filling out the budget spreadsheet, because month by month, you're recording your expenses. Or you're using Hurdler, and Hurdler is connected to all your transactions, and that way you will already be set by the time December comes. So that's pretty much it, y'all. But I'm excited because I was working on my taxes for 2 days, y'all. And I'm going to tell you, I procrastinated like a mug. What about anybody here? Did y'all do your taxes yet? Daria, did you do your taxes? Val, Eugene, Sophia, did you do your taxes yet? Let me know in the comments. Did you do yours? Because I'm about to go tomorrow with my hubby. Because like I said, this is the latest we have ever did our taxes. But I'm so happy. You see this little Tweety bird going around the pole. So happy. That's how I feel right now. I am super happy that it is done. It is done. Yeah. So I can't see your comments for whatever reason. But once I end this live, I will check it out and I will put in the comments what I promised y'all. Thank y'all for coming through. See y'all in the next video. Peace out, y'all. Peace out.